questions or to add comments as we read through our headlines today. If you're listening and you would like to join in on our video chat and see what we're doing behind the scenes, you can visit us on our website where you can watch our live video stream and broadcast, follow along with all of our headlines, and register for free for content both on and off of Clubhouse. Visit our website, that is musicindustrycity.com. Welcome to today's Music News at Noon, brought to you live from New York City by the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. We're going to be beginning our countdown and our headline read here shortly. Thanks for joining us. And we begin our countdown. Welcome to today's broadcast.
From New York, it's the Music News at Noon on the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. I'm Peter Schwing. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Eli Window. Eli, how you doing?
I'm doing great today, Peter. It's great to see you, and it's great to see everyone else. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, and Angela, unfortunately, is not going to be in today, so she'll have the day off, and we'll see her back on Monday. But with that, in today's news, TikTok, major music discovery. You may be able to get your own .music domain. Iheart and Alexa are developing a song requests. There's some interesting things going on there. Glastonbury canceled September event. A ton of social media updates. And as always, our daily Spotify update. Those stories are coming up. But first, let's take a look at this day in music history with Eli Window. Eli.
All right, let's take a look at this day in music history. On this day, July 22nd, 2004, we remember French singer and guitarist Sacha Distel, who died after a long battle with deteriorating health. He scored the 1970 UK number 10 single, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. As a professional jazz guitarist, he worked alongside Dizzy Gillespie and Tony Bennett. In memory, Sacha Distel. We also, on this date in 2019, lost American singer, songwriter, and keyboardist Art Neville, who died aged 81. Art shot to fame as part of the Neville Brothers. In memory. Birthdays today, born on this date, 1941, American singer, songwriter, bandleader, and record producer George Clinton. Just the dog in me, baby. Also born on this date, 1947, Don Henley, singer, songwriter, and drummer with the Eagles. Born on this date, 1961, Keith Sweat, American R&B soul singer, songwriter, record producer, radio personality, and an innovator of New Jack Swing. Born this date, 1963, Emily Saliers from Grammy Award-winning folk rock music American duo Indigo Girls. Born this date, 1964, William Calhoun, drummer for Living Colour. And born on this date, 1973, Canadian-American singer-songwriter Rufus Wainwright. Happy birthday also from this date, 1992, born Selena Gomez, American singer and actress. Moving on to this day in music history. On July 22nd, 1969, Aretha Franklin was arrested for causing a disturbance in a Detroit parking lot. After posting $50 bail, she ran down a road sign while leaving the police station. On this date, 1996, Donovan was forced to postpone a comeback tour of the U.S. because of a 30-year-old marijuana conviction in the U.K. American authorities delayed granting him a waiver to enter the country. On July 22nd, 2005, research by a car insurance company showing that listening to the wrong sort of music when driving can actually lead to aggression and distraction. Dr. Nicola Dibben, a music psychologist, said, quote, "Singing while driving stimulates the mind." Songs recommended include Pulp's Disco 2000 and Hey Ya by Outkast, but the doctor said songs like The Prodigy's Firestarter should be avoided while operating a motor vehicle. And on this date, July 22nd, 2015, new research found that a person's taste in music may offer insight into the way in which they think. A study found empathic people preferred more mellow, low-energy music, while those who were quote-unquote systemizers, or people who seek to analyze patterns in the world, might enjoy punk, heavy metal, and more complex music overall. Researchers at Cambridge University, England, had recruited 4,000 participants and put them through a series of different tests before obtaining these results. Fascinating study, music and psychology. And that's it for On This Day in Music History. Back over to you, Peter.
Right. Yeah, I always enjoy these studies. Some are just a little weird. It's like, wait, what? But the whole thing about the driving one, I don't know if Hey Ya, I mean, Firestarter, it's like if I'm on the highway, yeah, Firestarter, of course. But Hey Ya, I don't know about Hey Ya because they say they recommend it. But what are you going to do when you get to the part where you have to clap your hands? I mean, everybody's got to go clap, clap, clap. And that means you're going to take
Well,
your hands off the wheel. I mean,
I agree. I agree. And do you really want to be driving and participating and shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture? I'm just not exactly sure. You know what? Just quickly, I want to say that one time I had a rental car, and the rental car, the volume of the stereo increased with my miles per hour. And I will say that I think that's way more dangerous than choosing the wrong kind of music to listen to. Making the volume of your stereo increase with your miles per hour it makes it tempting to drive right at the speed limit and not below. So let's all be careful when we're driving and listening to music because music is a powerful drug.
right on. All right. With that being said, we're going to set the stage for the roundtable conversation. We bring you summaries and commentary on the latest headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, request to join the stage during the roundtable segment. I'd also like to thank everyone who is tuning in on our video live stream. What's up, everybody? And joining in the members-only newsroom live discussion thread on musicindustrycity.com. To stay up to date on this and other programming, make sure to sign up for free at musicindustrycity.com, and you could also obtain access to exclusive content. So we got a lot going on here today. We're going to be talking a lot about social media. There's a whole bunch of in the later blocks, so stick around for that and let's get to it. All right, and this first piece is from themusicnetwork.com. To access all the articles mentioned in today's show, visit musicindustrycity.com, and you can click on where it says Music News at Noon. There's a graphic there. You have to be signed in, and you can click on the graphic that says Music News at Noon, and it'll have all the listings of the articles. You can also look at the video live stream of what's going on behind the scenes here, and if you don't have access to that, you can click on the show notes, and you'll be able to access all of that. All right, this is a new survey. Confirms TikTok's major role in discovering new music. According to a new TikTok marketing science music perceptions research poll commissioned by the app, up to 75% of TikTok's U.S. users said they discovered new artists on the platform, and 63% discovered new music they had not heard of before. The research was conducted by two independent analytic businesses, MRC Data and Flamingo Group, with the first focusing on TikTok's impact on music and the latter on brands. 72% of TikTokers link certain songs with TikTok, and 67% are more inclined to search for tracks they originally heard on the app on a music streaming platform afterwards. The app claims to have launched the careers of Lil Nas X, Olivia Rodrigo, Megan Thee Stallion, and Doja Cat, and in December announced that over 70 musicians who debuted on the site before 2020 had signed major label deals. According to the findings of the research on the flow-on effect for advertisers, when businesses incorporate the music that TikTokers like in their video, 68% recall the brand better and 58% have a greater connection to the brand. Furthermore, 58% are more likely to discuss about the brand and share advertisement, and 62% are curious to learn more about the brand. According to the Flamingo report, 7 out of 10 users think TikTok communities have the power to drive cultural change, and 71% believe the largest trends begin on TikTok. And the Oli Oberman, the global head of music at TikTok, said TikTok is the home of music trends that permeate the industry, charts, and culture. And by February 2021, it was anticipated that TikTok had reached 1.1 billion monthly users, up from 680 million in November of 2018. And to put that in comparison, Spotify, on the other hand, has 345 million monthly active users and expects to have 400 to 427 million monthly active users by the end of 2021, according to a letter to shareholders. That's I mean, is Spotify going to now look at this? I mean, Spotify. We're going to talk about Spotify and podcasts again, and trying to get more acquisitions. But is this going to be something Spotify's looking at? It's like, well, we need to have more engagement, and now let's get some video stuff going on. I mean, having being able to use Spotify's music platform and then being able to upload video shorts of with your favorite music on Spotify, is that in the future?
I, all I can say is, Peter, that I think it's really interesting how all of the platforms are spying on one another, doing research on one another, and trying to glean the most important, popular features from each other's platforms and trying to add those to each and every social media platform. How wonderful would it be if we had one social media platform with the absolute best quality of each platform on that single solitary platform? But that's a perfect world. We're talking unicorns here. I just think it's interesting that every platform is spying on every other platform. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's all about users, MAU, ARPU, shareholders. All right, dot music. So, well, actually, we are going to go over to this one and talk about. I'm going to pull up the article again. Why don't I do that? Let's talk about this one here. Dot music domains may finally be a reality, and this is a guest post on Hypebot from Bobby Osinitsky. And the procedure of registering a domain name has long been stressful for musicians and artists, with many relevant .com domains already taken by early adopters. According to this article, they're saying that could soon change, though, as .music emerged victorious in a bid to register .music domains. So you can talk about, like, if you've ever tried to register a domain name, you know how frustrating it can be. And this may soon change for musicians as .music domains appear to becoming a reality. In 2019, a firm called .music defeated industry titans Amazon and Google in a struggle for the right to register .music domains. Since then, the corporation has been preparing for the official release, which was planned for 2020 until the pandemic intervened. This is due to .music's vow to examine all registrar applications in order to minimize cyber squatting or somebody registering a domain and keeping it in order to sell it later. If someone registers a .music domain name but isn't genuinely in the music business, they risk losing the domain to a legitimate firm. .music lists artists, brands, major labels, indie labels, publishers, songwriters, performing arts, PROs, collection societies, unions, managers, agents, promoters, ministries of culture, music arts councils, export offices, associations, radio, and other constituent types as being able to register. So you can find out more. You can pre-register and find out more at music.us. And this is a big thing. This has been going on for a very long time. And the fact that to have something like a .music, I remember when, if you look back at the popularity of different TLDs, and that's the top level domain. That's what's directly to the right of the dot. So .com, .org, .net, then .io, .club. I mean, .club became huge because of Clubhouse. People were associating .club thinking it was actually Clubhouse, but it wasn't. But .club worked out well. So people were gobbling up .clubs thinking they were going to flip them. So now, you had a lot of that going on here. And that was earlier days in Clubhouse when everybody was teaching you how to flip a domain, buy and sell domains. But there's a lot of great things with like .ios. But for this, to be able to be a musician, to have your .music and not worry about somebody squatting on it and just know, I think this is fantastic. I'm so happy this potentially is going to happen as reality. But check out music.us. You can pre-register there. All right, let's move over to Iheart. This is from Rain News. And iHeartRadio developing Alexa-powered song requests, dedications, and DJ Q&As for radio. iHeart is developing a new Amazon Alexa ability for listeners to engage with on-air radio studios, bridging the gap between the old and modern analog and digital broadcast and conversational AI. At least 4 stations, WCOS in South Carolina, 104.7 KISS FM Phoenix, 106.1 KISS FM Dallas, and XL 1067 Orlando, have launched a test allowing listeners to make song requests and dedications via Alexa. This is cool. I'm digging this. First, why it's cool is like first it eliminates phone numbers and lookups, and second it allows for out of market participation. For example, a dedication from across the country. More complicated skill would be QA sessions with DJs, which are not yet ready for testing but are being developed by Iheart. And Chris Williams, the Iheart Radio Chief Product Officer, goes on to say, "We're excited that for the first time, our listeners will be able to talk to us directly through Alexa, and this is a direct path for our audience to respond, to offer their ideas, and to help impact what you hear on the radio." Now this is all great if these stations were the stations that allowed the DJs to actually play the music they wanted to play without having all of it be pre-programmed. So if they're allowed to be able to update on the fly, like, more like college radio, where if they want to pivot and play something different, they can go ahead, as opposed to like some certain pre-approved playlist going into that hour. But I really dig this. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Just be yelling across the room, "Alexa, play that new Coldplay song." And the DJ's like, "No, I'm not going to play that Coldplay song." Or Alexa talks back. She's like, "I'm sorry, Peter. The DJ is not accepting Coldplay as a request."
It's going to be like one of those clubs that comes with a sign on the front door that says "No wagon wheel, strictly enforced." We're just going to see one of those things. "Oh, I'm so sorry. No, we're not having that." Yeah. Next. DJ discrimination of the digital DJ.
Right on. Oh, I see Steve has entered the stage. Hey, Steve, is there something you wanted to talk about? Good.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Just good to see you. Just thinking about it, this is like, old radio promo, though. People could step in and just keep making the request. Is it going to be measured? So is there a pay for play where you're going to have people just sitting on an Alexa and it's just social media promotion companies that are going to be doing it for the labels or for the management companies? So there is a little bit throwing caution to the wind on that.
Call your local station and request our song. And then you have an automated bot just telling Alexa to call, request the song, and then they're measuring requests. Is that along the lines of what you're talking about?
Yeah, not even more bots. You just hire kids, or you hire people to do it.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, that's a great observation there, Steve. Thanks for that. And also Billy, so Billy Sunshine out in our video land. Yep. Saying that is awesome, like loving that idea. So this is fantastic. I'm looking for, I think, it's a step in the right direction of how we can be more engaged. And I think radio needs something like this. I mean, this is, they've been getting, torn apart by streaming and all these other platforms. So I think this is going to be a great way to be able to re-engage. And if you have the other thing is like, having Alexa in the car or something, because, Spotify has their car thing. Whatever that is, the car thing. All right. We're going to move over down to South Africa. The SABC is accused of taking food out of artists' mouths by not paying royalties. SAMPRA issued a statement on Monday accusing the public broadcaster of taking food out of artists' mouths and recording artists and record companies' legal battle over the non-payment of needle time royalties. The association announced it would be applying for the courts to compel the South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC, to pay for the use of their artists' music. Failure by the SABC to pay will inevitably lead to an indirect prohibiting the SABC from playing tracks from SAMPRA's repertoire, which is 99% of all tracks in South Africa, they said. The association accused the public broadcaster of using its members' intellectual property without compensation for the work, and he added that SAMPRA represented more than 38,000 direct performing members and almost 6,000 direct record company members. The SABC's Group Executive for Corporate Affairs and Marketing said the corporation had set aside an amount due for payment of needle time royalties and has always been ready to pay the amount to the relevant collection societies, namely SAMPRA and the Independent Music Performing Rights Association, IMPRA. They added that the SABC cannot pay needle time royalties to any collection society while a dispute on the percentage split between the two societies remains unresolved. SAMPRA management has hit back accusing the SABC of deception in its allegations that the non-payment was due to the collection societies not agreeing on a percentage split. And they finally wrap up saying there's nothing that we as Samper need to agree with IMPRA because IMPRA is not using our members' money. The SABC is. You know, it's radio. There's always challenges, it seems, with radio and collections, and different countries all have different things. So we are going to go check in with Eli before we head over to the UK coverage. Eli.
All right, excellent. Peter's checking in with me. I want you to please check in with your friends. Don't forget that you can ping your friends into the room by using the plus sign at the bottom. Invite your friends to join the discussion or to listen in to today's Music News at Noon. We are here each and every weekday at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday, with all the news that you care to listen to and discuss as it relates to the music industry. Don't forget also that you can watch us in the live feed, follow along in real time with all the headlines that we cover today and throughout the week, and also register for free content, all by visiting our website. That website is musicindustrycity.com. And now we take a look at the UK. Glastonbury organizers cancel September mini event for quote unquote a number of reasons. 6 months after Glastonbury was canceled for the second consecutive year, organizers have announced that their previously planned single-day event has been shelved. The article continues. Emily Evis, the daughter of Glastonbury co-founder Michael Evis, revealed in an Instagram post that she and her team had opted to put the one-day mini festival dubbed Equinox on ice for a number of reasons, reportedly. The happening had been slated to take place in September, with local government officials having issued a permit for a maximum of 50,000 attendees. Additionally, the younger Evis told The Guardian in May that the event had already filled out its lineup. Though the precise cause of the cancellation remains unclear, Evis signaled that she and the rest of the Glastonbury staff will now put, quote, all of our energy into the campsite, referring to the Worthy Pastors campground that is set to open at Glastonbury's site, Worthy Farm, this week. According to Worthy Pastors' website, the tranquil, family-friendly campsite will look to capture the essence of the Glastonbury Festival with its familiar style of signage, painted bins, and decor, complete with the site's famous landmarks, as well as a range of on-site activities. Organizers have already pitched the campsite's tents. Guests are unable to bring their own. And notably, campers must book a 3-night or longer visit with a 2-person scout tent, setting customers back £199, about $272 at the present exchange rate. And that is for the shortest allowed stay. No amplified live entertainment will be available. Worthy Pastors makes clear on its website, though guests will have access to a full-service bar besides the above-mentioned activities. The Equinox cancellation represents the latest in a recent cluster of COVID-related live music setbacks, which might suggest that the return of concerts and music festivals could prove relatively difficult in certain areas. To be sure, 1,000 COVID-19 cases have been traced to the Vernkute Festival, despite the fact that organizers required guests to show they'd been vaccinated against or tested negative for the bug. It's unclear, it bears highlighting, whether these infections resulted from the festival itself or other activities. The mentioned COVID-19 tests had to have been administered sometime during the preceding 40 hours. Additionally, Big Sound organizers called off their music festival and conference earlier this week, citing continued state-specific lockdown restrictions throughout Australia as the reason for their cancellation. Notwithstanding this and other setbacks, however, Lollapalooza is scheduled to return in just 8 days, with Bonnaroo expected also to kick off in early September. For more on this and other articles that we're covering today, be sure to visit our website, musicindustrycity.com. Some definitely varied, interesting, and very touching news from the live sector all the way around the globe. Over to you, Peter.
Thanks. So from this one is from IQ Mag, and Belgium introduces a COVID-safe ticket. For events with more than 1,500 attendees, the COVID-safe ticket can be used to confirm that all attendees have been completely vaccinated or have returned a negative COVID-19 test within the last 48 hours. The pass, which was supposed to go on sale July 1st, will now be valid for outdoor events beginning on August 13th and indoor activities beginning on September 1st. Excuse me, I just swallowed some air wrong. While the safe ticket eliminates the need for social distance, promoters must still adopt a crowd management strategy as well as proper ventilation in the case of indoor performances, which is measured by a CO2 meter, according to the Belgian government. COVID-safe tickets are not required. Event organizers can put on acts without them, but the safe ticketed events must follow social distancing standards and require all guests to wear masks, according to the Flemish Prime Minister Jan Jambon. Both certificates make use of QR codes, which may be viewed on your smartphone using the COVID-Safe BE app. Quote, the CST will color red if your negative PCR test is older than 48 hours if you are checked entering an event, while at the airport, the same code will color green, allowing you to travel. Unlike France's pass, the COVID-Safe ticket is only valid for live events and cannot be used to enter shopping malls, care centers, pubs, restaurants, or other hospitality establishments, according to the Brussels Times. The Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps has already stated that the CST will be used for its 2021 event, which is on August 27th through the 29th. Festivals and Belgium's remaining important summer events are anticipated to follow suit in the coming weeks. It's interesting because we're looking at different countries having different reactions to using these passes to allow entrance. Then you have people like Eric Clapton saying, I will not perform at any show, at any venue that requires COVID testing or COVID passes, things like that. And he's supposed to have a gig at the Royal Albert Hall coming up soon, so we'll see how that goes. All right, let's talk. We're going to talk about every social platform. There's all these quick little updates that are really interesting. So we're going to go through them really quick. This one is from Gizmodo. Instagram is rolling out a sensitive content control option. Facebook announced the feature in a newsroom post saying that users will be able to access a new sensitive content control option in the settings menu, which they can use to either keep their content preferences at the default state limit or to opt to see more sensitive content by selecting allow. Users will be able to further tailor their feeds by selecting limit even more to view more or less of particular sorts of sensitive content. Users will be able to amend their preferred selections at any time, according to Facebook, unless they are under the age of 18, in which case they will not be able to choose allow for sensitive information in their feeds. According to Facebook, sensitive content includes any post that, quote, may not necessarily contradict our standards, but could possibly offend some people, such as those who may be sexually suggestive or violent. The new customization options are part of Instagram's bigger effort to allow users to tailor their news feeds. In 2020, the platform announced a slew of changes to its settings that would allow users to delete up to 25 comments at once, as well as block or restrict users in bulk directly from their objectionable remarks. In recent years, Instagram has also introduced additional capabilities that allow users to exclude certain users from communicating with them on the network, such as leaving comments or seeing their Instagram stories. This could turn into one of those, are they censoring posts again? Where is the line of what is considered, sexually suggestive or violent? Of course, we don't want this kind of stuff, but any other type of content, where is that line and who's determining what that line is? So this goes back to what we're looking at. It's like the complaints on COVID misinformation and people put into Facebook jail for spreading misinformation, or even YouTube has filters. They update their terms and conditions, saying for community guidelines and everything. So I'm sure a lot of people are not going to be happy about this. I'm sure other people are. Let's go over.
I feel like just quickly, Peter, I wanted to say that I feel like the description of offensive content that we all know so well. I know it when I see it. The description of offensive content is incredibly subjective. And so when someone says, I know it when I see it, that's what offensive content means to them. And so I'm really curious to see how this story is going to unravel. Please feel free to join us in the chat or to raise your hand if you have comments or questions about this article. I think this is fascinating and I can't wait to see what happens. Moving on to our next headline.
Right on. Thanks. Yeah. Twitter. So Twitter tests a Reddit-style upvote and downvote buttons. Twitter will experiment with upvote and downvote buttons similar to those found on Reddit in order to emphasize the more interesting and relevant comments in a lengthier conversation thread. They stated that it would undertake, quote, a small research experiment in which it will add upvote and downvote buttons to answers or possibly replace the like button entirely. In certain cases, the upvote and downvote buttons are up arrows and down arrows, respectively, and in others, they are thumbs up and thumbs down. In one group of testers, users may still see the like button, the red heart, but now there's a downvote button next to it. According to Twitter, an upvote counts as a like in this group, and the company also stated that it's not yet using this voting information to rank the responses. The test purpose is to assist Twitter in learning what types of replies users find most relevant during their chats, which is something Twitter has been researching for some time. Previous studies, according to Twitter users research Cody Elam, found that users considered the best forms of replies were informative, encouraging, positive, and hilarious. This data could help Twitter enhance its conversation ranking systems over time. And this isn't the first time Twitter has expressed interest in interaction buttons other than the like or retweet. For example, it was observed earlier this year interviewing users about their desire in a bigger selection of emoji-style replies comparable to what you'd find on Facebook. And that feature appears to have been placed into development since then. Continue with the letter T in socials. Well, Tumblr starts letting bloggers charge a subscription. I mean, Tumblr. I didn't know that was still a thing, but apparently it is. And here's some stats that are going to go along with it. Tumblr is finally offering its writers a way to make money off their work, charging for its subscription. The 14-year-old blogging platform is starting to add the ability for writers to put their posts behind a paywall. The feature, called Post Plus, lets creators offer a $3.99, $5.99, or $9.99 per month subscription, which will give readers access to any post they decide to designate as for subscribers only. While Tumblr is still a big network, the platform has been shrinking. It now gets 11.3 million daily posts, according to Tumblr's press information page, down from 14.8 million this time last year and 67.7 million this time in 2012. Tumblr struggled during the shift to mobile and later stalled after being purchased by Yahoo in 2013 and Verizon in 2017. The network is now highlighting its continued adoption by younger users, saying that just about half of its users are part of Gen Z. A wide launch of this feature is planned for this fall, as the Tumblr spokespersons announced. Tumblr says they will take a 5% fee from subscriptions, which is competitive compared to Substack's 10% cut. And if readers subscribe on an iOS or Android, though, those platforms take an additional 30% App Store fees of what the creator gets to keep. We're going to keep talking about monetization, and now we're going to move over to YouTube. Told you there's a lot. We have just a few more, and we're just going to cover them all. YouTube's newest monetization tool lets viewers tip creators for their uploads. On Tuesday, YouTube introduced its newest feature, Super Thanks. This is YouTube's fourth paid digital group, which refers to any product that allows fans to directly pay creators. So far, these tools have included Super Chat, Super Stickers, and channel subscriptions. But Super Thanks is YouTube's first of these tools, allowing fans to tip artists for individual uploaded videos rather than live streams. If a viewer wishes to express their gratitude for a video, they can pay the makers with one of four preset amounts ranging from $2 to $50 in their local currency. When viewers purchase Super Thanks, they have the option of leaving a note, which will be emphasized in the comment section. YouTube's prior capabilities for direct payments to creators appeared to be a means for the site to catch up with Twitch, but Super Thanks, the network, is now differentiating itself. Last year was the most successful year for paid digital goods on YouTube, with over 10 million people purchasing a Super Chat, Super Sticker, or channel subscription for the first time on the site in 2020. And their breakout is that YouTube keeps 30% of the money to creators by fans, whereas Twitch keeps 50% of the money paid to broadcasters through subscriptions. All right. Clubhouse. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Clubhouse, but this article from TechCrunch has just informed us that Clubhouse is now out of beta and open to everyone. The company said yesterday that it would discontinue its waitlist and invite system, making it available to everyone. Anyone can now follow Clubhouse links, join a creator's community, or attend any public event. According to fresh Sensor Tower statistics released to TechCrunch, Clubhouse reached a peak of 9.6 million global downloads in February, up from 2.4 million the prior month. After that, things calmed down for a while until picking up again in May when when Clubhouse launched on Android via the Google Play Store. Since May, new Android users have accounted for the vast majority of app downloads. Clubhouse was installed 7.7 million times across both iOS and Android in June, an astounding figure that contradicts the idea that the game might not be long-lasting. So this is going to be, we like to see this. It's going to be continued. We've seen the roller coaster of everybody coming on, then it kind of weighs off, and then they roll out Android, people coming back on. So we're going to, hopefully this is going to make it have some good, like that long tail, and we're going to see some great content and some more people, more consistency, and with the other features that they've been rolling out in back channel. So it's I'm for it. I'm happy to see this, that we're now officially out of beta, and there's a new logo coming, so you'll notice that. All right, with that being said, it's that time of the broadcast.
Big green dot hits the spot.
The big green dot hits the spot. It is time for our Spotify spot of our broadcast. This is the spot of our broadcast where we speak to digital music streaming technology and how it reflects on all of us. But before we do that, we want to take a look at our global weather for all of our listeners. Looking ahead to this weekend's forecast, Sunday morning, rain may be falling. Steal some covers, share some skin. Over to you, Peter, for the Spotify spot.
All right. Well, before we get that, I just want to comment on, reply to some comments here that we have going on over in our video feed. Yeah, Billy is saying that Clubhouse took too long to come out of beta and that she's over them. And that is also something that was, we saw a lot of people come on, hang out for a week or two, and then just, get overwhelmed and then just disappear. But also people started going back to work. So that was part of a drop-off. I mean, life started happening again in certain areas while other countries were closing down. And then they launched and rolled out in India. And India was in a very strict lockdown. So the timing was right for them. So, and a lot more Android on the platform use. So we're seeing that. Somebody else was saying, going back to the Twitter, Brian, hey there. What's up, Brian? Twitter downvotes are great. Everyone should have one. YouTube considers removing its downvote button, but every social platform should implement them so people can see more visible consequences of their dumb opinions said in context. Yeah, I mean, there is the one thing about, I think, YouTube, and some, don't hold me exactly to this one, but I believe that when it comes to part of one of the algorithms, because all these platforms have multiple algorithms, there's not like one master algorithm that determines everything. That even if you get a downvote on YouTube, it actually helps your algorithm, because that means something, they might, not everybody's going to like what you say, but they might be a follower and they just don't like that video, or they're downvoting because maybe it's something sad. So it's like a thumbs down. It's like, oh, boo, but not necessarily they didn't like what your content was. So YouTube actually weighs that in saying that a downvote does help you in the algorithm. I mean, it's a smaller fraction. I mean, things are all weighted, but it's like, a thumbs up will be better than a thumbs down, but a thumbs down is better than no thumbs.
Wasn't it P.T. Barnum who said to the press, publish whatever you want about me, just be sure to spell my name correctly? Wasn't that him?
Yep. And unfortunately, actually, I haven't done anything press-worthy, and even if I was, they still would misspell my name, so... All right, let's get into the Spotify spot here. Spotify inks deal with UK podcast producer Noiser. Spotify has entered into a first-look agreement with Noiser, the first of its type with a UK podcast producer. The collaboration is hosted in Spotify's podcast network, Parcast, and grants the audio streamer first refusal on programs created by the Bristol-based Noiser. Deathbed Confessions will be the first podcast to emerge from the partnership. Estefania Hagerman will narrate weekly episodes that will premiere on July 21st and will reveal the story behind long-held secrets and confessions made by people in their dying moments. The series begins with the deathbed confession of Hollywood actress Margaret Gibson, who claimed to have slain director William Desmond Taylor in her last breath. Other stories look at the claims made by builder Frank Thorogood that he murdered Rolling Stone founding member Brian Jones, as well as the conspiracy surrounding CIA Agent Iheart Hunt and his role in JFK's assassination. Pascal Hughes, the CEO of Noiser, started the company last year. And this month, the firm received a gold award in the arts and culture category at the British Podcast Awards for its series, Real Dictators. So again, I mean, we're seeing Spotify, we're way beyond doubling down on podcasts. Quadrupling even more so. I don't know what the other words are after quadruple, but there's definitely they're going all in on the podcast, and it's going to be interesting to see what they've done with Green Room to see how that is going to be implemented, if they're going to be implementing some of the live talks and linking that up with Spotify and podcasts and everything else there. So that's it for the reads. Let's put Eli back up on the stage here. Eli, anything that came to mind for you? And if anybody else wants to jump up on the stage, or anybody in the live stream has some comments they want to throw up, let's hear them.
Well, I personally am always keeping a close eye on the live sector. For me, there's almost nothing more exciting than going to a live show and having that the buzz of the crowd and the rush that happens just before the show starts. And so anytime we look at live sectors and the safety of the return of live music and festivals and concerts and large scale events, that's always something very interesting to me. So I thank you so much, Peter, for making sure that we do cover these live events across the globe and what COVID and concert and festival attendance means for all of us these days. We want to make sure that we are safe, but I think I speak for myself and so many of our listeners when I say that we really do safely want to attend these concerts, and it's so critical for us to keep our fingers on the pulse of the live sector. So I'm really glad that we're covering these live events. Peter, thank you for including these live sector events and headlines in our room. That's something that's so important to me. But I do want to ask if anyone in the chat or anyone in the room wants to raise their hand or chime in. We have just a few moments left as we look at our headlines that we have covered in today's news broadcast. Does anyone have comments they want to share with us?
And while we're waiting to see if anybody wants to jump up, yeah, and thank you. I mean, this is, we want to try to cover the world here because, we're looking at keeping an eye out, especially with everything that is going on, and places are opening back up and then opening up, shutting down. Thanks, Ike. You said great service show. Thank you, sir. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us over in the green room.
Excellent, Ike. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you all of you who are joining us across multiple platforms, whether you are listening and watching. And don't forget that if you're listening and you'd like to watch, you can watch our live stream in real time by visiting our website, where you can also follow along in real time with these and all the headlines that we cover each and every week, Monday through Thursday at 12 Eastern, right here in the Music News at noon from New York City. You can also on our website register for free. We have incredible exclusive content on our website, both on and off of Clubhouse, and registration is currently free. Access that content, our live stream, our headlines, and more by visiting our website. That's musicindustrycity.com. And don't forget that you can join us right here Monday through Thursday, weekdays, for the Music News at noon from New York City, where we cover all the music industry news that's fit for you to listen to and discuss. You can raise your hand to join the discussion with us. You can chime in the chat, and you can also ping your friends into the room to make sure that everyone can join the discussion. Thanks so much for joining our broadcast and our show today. And please don't forget, you can join us on Monday again, where we will be back right here with the Music News at noon from Music Industry City Broadcast Network. Over to my co-host now, Peter Schwing, and on behalf of myself and our UK correspondent, Angela Rando, who has the day off, my name is Eli Wendow. Thanks for joining us. Peter?
All right. Thank you for that. And thanks for everybody hanging out with us. We are off on Fridays. We are on a summer Friday schedule. So we will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks so much for joining our show today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Keep on kicking butt and have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday, everyone. Thanks.